The arrival. The galaxy was a vast expanse of stars and planets, teeming with life and conflict. Wars raged across the stars, each alien race locked in a struggle for dominance. The once peaceful sectors of space were now battle-scared and desolate. The constant fighting had left many planets in ruins, their once bustling cities now silent and abandoned. In the midst of this chaos, a new and unfamiliar force appeared: humanity. For centuries, Earth had been a small, unremarkable planet in a distant corner of the galaxy. But now, humans were stepping onto the galactic stage, and their arrival would change everything. The first encounter with humanity came as a surprise to the alien factions. The humans had been quietly building their capabilities in secret, and their sudden appearance was both a shock and a mystery. The alien races had heard rumors of a new species with advanced technology, but they had dismissed these stories as mere legends. Now those legends were real, and they were proving to be a formidable force. The initial contact was brief but intense. A fleet of human ships, sleek and powerful, appeared in the space controlled by one of the major alien factions. The alien commanders, accustomed to facing off against other aliens, were caught off guard by the humans' boldness. The human ships were unlike anything they had seen before: fast, heavily armed, and equipped with technology that seemed to defy their understanding. The aliens scrambled to respond. Their sensors tracked the human ships as they moved with surprising precision. The humans seemed to know exactly what they were doing, their actions coordinated and efficient. The aliens attempted to communicate, but their messages were met with silence. The humans were not interested in talking. They were here to fight. The first battle was swift and decisive. The human ships engaged the alien forces with a mix of advanced weaponry and clever tactics. The aliens, despite their superior numbers, found themselves outmatched. The human ships moved with a grace and speed that left the aliens struggling to keep up. Lasers and missiles streaked through space, and the alien ships were quickly disabled or destroyed. News of the human arrival spread quickly across the galaxy. Different factions reacted in various ways. Some were intrigued and curious, eager to learn more about this new player. Others were alarmed and fearful, realizing that the humans' arrival could shift the balance of power in the galaxy. Among the most worried were the leaders of the Galactic Coalition, an alliance of several powerful alien races who had been fighting a protracted war. They had grown accustomed to their dominance and had little experience with human technology. The coalition's leaders convened an emergency meeting to discuss the implications of the human presence. In the meeting chamber, the coalition leaders debated furiously. Some argued that the humans were a serious threat that needed to be dealt with immediately. Others believed that the humans could be used to their advantage, perhaps as allies against their common enemies. The discussion was heated, with each faction voicing its concerns and strategies. Meanwhile, on the human side, the leaders were equally focused. They had expected some resistance, but were surprised by the speed with which they had made an impact. The human commanders were determined to press their advantage. They knew that the key to success in this galaxy would be to establish themselves as a dominant force quickly. They continued their aggressive tactics, targeting key alien strongholds and disrupting supply lines. The aliens began to realize that they were facing more than just another enemy. The humans were different, resourceful, determined, and not easily intimidated. They were not like any of the alien races that had previously waged war in the galaxy. The humans had a unique way of fighting, one that combined advanced technology with strategic brilliance. As the humans pressed forward, the galaxy began to shudder. The alien races were forced to rethink their strategies and alliances. The arrival of humanity was shaking the very foundations of the galactic order. Some races began to seek out alliances with other factions, hoping to create a united front against the human threat. Others chose to strengthen their own defenses, preparing for the inevitable clashes that lay ahead. The humans, for their part, remained focused on their mission. They were determined to carve out a place for themselves in the galaxy, no matter the cost. Their arrival had already made waves, and they were prepared to make even bigger ones as they continued their campaign. In the midst of this uncertainty, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same. The arrival of humanity had set in motion a series of events that would reshape the balance of power and determine the future of countless worlds. The once quiet corners of the galaxy were now alive with the sounds of war and the promise of change. As the first chapter of this new era unfolded, the galaxy watched with bated breath. The humans had arrived, and their presence promised to bring both challenges and opportunities. How the galaxy would respond to this new force remained to be seen, but one thing was certain: the arrival of humanity had ignited a fire that would burn across the stars for years to come. The human advantage. The galaxy was abuzz with the latest news. Humanity was not just a fleeting threat, but a serious contender in the cosmic conflict. The initial shock of their arrival had given way to a more pressing concern: how to deal with the new and formidable human forces. On the human side, preparations were underway to solidify their newfound position in the galaxy. The human fleet, which had made such an impact in their initial encounters, was gearing up for the next phase of their campaign. The efficiency and effectiveness of their technology were apparent to everyone who had witnessed their first battles. But it was not just their advanced machinery that set them apart. It was also their strategic brilliance. Human commanders were meticulous planners. They studied every alien movement and battle strategy carefully. They used this intelligence to their advantage, launching attacks where their enemies were least prepared. The human fleets operated with a precision that made them seem almost prophetic in their ability to predict and counter alien moves. One of the key advantages humans had was their advanced technology. Their ships were equipped with powerful energy shields, advanced weaponry, and stealth capabilities that made them difficult to detect and even harder to hit. The human spacecraft could outmaneuver the alien vessels, thanks to their superior propulsion systems. They employed tactics like hit-and-run attacks, quickly striking and then vanishing before the aliens could mount a counterattack. In addition to their technology, humans had developed a unique approach to warfare that combined their technological prowess with psychological tactics. They understood the importance of morale and used it to their advantage. Human commanders would send out false information to confuse their enemies or create fear. Their fleets would strike at unexpected times, keeping the aliens off balance and unsure of where the next attack would come from. The aliens, for their part, struggled to adapt. The different alien factions had their own unique strengths and weaknesses, but none had anticipated the rapid and relentless advance of the humans. Some alien leaders tried to counter the human technology with their own innovations, but these efforts were often too little, too late. The alien forces were caught in a cycle of reaction rather than action, and it was beginning to show in their performance on the battlefield. The alien response varied from faction to faction. The Cruel, a race known for their brute strength and large warships, found themselves unable to match the speed and agility of the human ships. The Arathians, who relied heavily on their sophisticated sensor networks, were baffled by the humans' stealth technology. Even the technologically advanced Fortans, who had long prided themselves on their superior weaponry, were surprised by the humans' innovative tactics. In one notable battle, the humans orchestrated a daring raid on a heavily fortified alien outpost. The outpost was known for its strong defenses, and the aliens had expected it to be a safe haven. But the humans had already done their homework. They launched a surprise attack, using a combination of decoy ships and targeted strikes to overwhelm the alien defenses. Within hours, the once impenetrable outpost was in ruins. The humans had achieved a significant victory, and the aliens were left reeling. The victory at the outpost was more than just a tactical success. It was a psychological blow. It sent a message across the galaxy that the humans were not just another race to be dealt with, but a new power that could not be ignored. The news of the defeat spread quickly, and many alien factions began to reconsider their strategies. The once confident alien leaders now faced the reality that their dominance was under serious threat. In response to these developments, some alien factions began to seek out alliances. They hoped that by banding together, they could present a united front against the humans. Diplomatic envoys were sent to negotiate with other races, and treaties were discussed in secret meetings. The goal was to pool their resources and strategies to counter the growing human influence. The human response to these alliances was calculated. They recognized that the formation of a united front could be a significant challenge, but they were prepared. Human intelligence units worked tirelessly to gather information on the new alliances and their plans. They adjusted their strategies accordingly, planning counterattacks and disruptions to undermine the alien efforts. Despite the growing resistance, the human momentum continued to build. Their success in the early battles had given them confidence and a strategic edge. They used every advantage at their disposal, from advanced technology to psychological warfare, to maintain their upper hand. The galaxy was watching with bated breath as the conflict continued to unfold. The humans had proven that they were not just another player in the galactic struggle, but a force to be reckoned with. Their unique combination of technological innovation and strategic acumen had set them apart from their alien counterparts. As the war continued, the question on everyone's mind was no longer whether the humans could make an impact, but how far their influence would spread and what the ultimate consequences would be for the galaxy. The stage was set for a new chapter in the galactic conflict, and humanity was determined to make its mark. The advantages they had gained were being used to full effect, and their presence was reshaping the galaxy in ways that no one had anticipated. The human tactics. As the war continued to escalate across the galaxy, humanity began to demonstrate just how unique their approach to combat was. Their tactics were not just about advanced technology. They were about clever strategies that took their enemies by surprise. One of the most effective tactics humans used was their ability to quickly adapt. Whenever they encountered a new alien strategy, they would analyze it and develop a counter-strategy almost immediately. This agility made them incredibly unpredictable. Alien commanders, who were used to fighting predictable battles, found themselves struggling to keep up with the ever-changing human tactics. A prime example of this adaptability was seen in the battles against the Shraks, a race known for their heavily armored warships. The Shraks had initially believed their armor was nearly impenetrable, and their tactics involved brute force and overwhelming firepower. However, the humans employed a new tactic called focused fire. Instead of attacking the Shraks' ships with broad general strikes, human commanders ordered their forces to concentrate their firepower on specific weak points of the Shraks' ships. They used precise targeting to exploit the gaps in the armor, and within a short time, the once feared Shraks warships were being torn apart piece by piece. The Shraks were stunned by this tactic, unable to effectively counter it, and suffered a significant defeat. Another innovative tactic used by humans was deceptive maneuvers. Human fleets would often create false signals and decoy ships to mislead their enemies. In one notable battle, a human fleet sent out multiple fake signals to suggest an attack from one direction, while their real forces approached from another. The aliens, misled by the false signals, positioned their defenses in the wrong place, leaving themselves vulnerable to the actual attack. The human forces swiftly took advantage of the confusion, securing a decisive victory. The use of psychological tactics also played a significant role in human strategy. The humans understood that warfare was not just physical, but also mental. They employed a technique known as fear campaigns to undermine the morale of their enemies. For instance, they would broadcast intercepted alien communications or spread rumors about the human force's capabilities. These tactics created doubt and fear among the alien ranks, affecting their performance in battle. In addition to their innovative tactics, the humans also made effective use of technology to support their strategies. One key piece of technology was their advanced sensor systems, which allowed them to detect and track alien movements with incredible accuracy. This technology gave the humans a significant advantage in planning their attacks and avoiding ambushes. The humans also used stealth technology to their advantage. Their ships were equipped with advanced cloaking devices that made them nearly invisible to alien sensors. This technology allowed human forces to launch surprise attacks and then quickly retreat before the aliens could respond. The element of surprise became a crucial part of the human tactics, keeping the aliens on edge and unable to predict the humans' next move. The aliens, realizing they were struggling to keep up with human tactics, began to change their approach. They tried to adapt to the new threats by developing countermeasures and improving their own strategies. However, the speed at which the humans adapted often put the aliens at a disadvantage. The ongoing battle of wits between the two sides became a key element of the conflict. One particularly dramatic example of human tactical superiority was the battle for the space station Zeta 9. This station was a strategic asset for the alien forces, and its capture was crucial for the humans. The aliens had fortified the station with heavy defenses and believed it was impregnable. However, the humans devised a clever plan. Instead of launching a direct assault, the humans deployed a series of small, agile drones to infiltrate the station's perimeter. These drones were equipped with hacking tools designed to disable the station's defense systems. As the drones worked silently, the human fleet positioned itself for a sudden strike. When the time was right, the humans launched a coordinated attack, taking advantage of the now disabled defenses. The capture of Zeta 9 was a major blow to the alien forces and demonstrated the effectiveness of human tactics. As the war progressed, the reputation of human tactics continued to grow. Their ability to combine advanced technology with strategic ingenuity made them a formidable opponent. The aliens, now fully aware of the human threat, began to approach the conflict with a new level of seriousness. The battles became increasingly complex, with both sides constantly adjusting their strategies and tactics. The humans, with their blend of adaptability, psychological warfare, and advanced technology, remained a step ahead of their enemies. Their success in the galaxy was not just a result of their firepower, but also of their ability to outthink and outmaneuver their opponents. In summary, the human tactics that emerged during the conflict were a blend of rapid adaptation, psychological manipulation, and cutting-edge technology. These tactics reshaped the way warfare was conducted in the galaxy and set a new standard for what it meant to be a dominant force in space. The aliens were left grappling with the reality that humanity was not just a new player, but a game-changer in the galactic arena. The turning point. The Galactic War had raged on for months, with humanity making a significant impact on the battlefield. Their advanced tactics and technology had put them at the forefront of the conflict. However, as the war continued, it became clear that the conflict was approaching a critical juncture, a turning point that could shift the balance of power in the galaxy. The turning point began to take shape during a series of pivotal battles. The human forces had managed to secure several key victories, but the alien factions were not willing to concede defeat. They regrouped, re-strategized, and sought new ways to counter the human threat. It was clear that the war was about to reach a decisive moment. The battle that marked the turning point occurred at the ancient space station, Epsilon 12. This station was a relic from an earlier era, and it held significant strategic value for both sides. It was located in a central sector of the galaxy and served as a critical supply and communications hub. Whoever controlled Epsilon 12 would have a substantial advantage in the ongoing conflict. The aliens, determined to reclaim their lost ground, fortified Epsilon 12 with every defense measure they could muster. They deployed their most advanced weaponry and positioned their strongest fleets around the station. The human commanders, well aware of the station's importance, prepared for a bold and high-stakes operation. In the days leading up to the battle, the humans launched a series of diversionary attacks to distract the alien forces. They targeted minor outposts and supply lines, creating chaos and drawing attention away from Epsilon 12. This strategy was designed to weaken the alien defenses and make them more vulnerable to the main assault. The day of the battle arrived, and the human fleet assembled for what would be their most ambitious operation yet. The humans knew that capturing Epsilon 12 would be a significant challenge, but they were determined to seize this crucial opportunity. Their plan was both audacious and risky, involving a multi-pronged assault that would test their tactics and resolve. As the battle commenced, the human fleet engaged the alien forces with a combination of precision strikes and overwhelming firepower. The aliens, though initially caught off guard by the intensity of the attack, quickly regrouped and mounted a fierce defense. The space around Epsilon 12 was filled with explosions and debris as the two sides clashed in a brutal struggle. One of the key elements of the human strategy was their use of stealth technology. Human ships, equipped with cloaking devices, infiltrated the outer defenses and launched a surprise assault on the alien command center within the station. The sudden appearance of the human forces inside the station created confusion and panic among the alien defenders. The battle for Epsilon 12 was fierce and intense. Human soldiers fought their way through the station's corridors, engaging in close-quarters combat with the aliens. The humans' superior training and tactics gave them an edge in these encounters. They used their knowledge of the station's layout to outmaneuver the aliens and secure key control points. As the battle raged on, the tide began to turn in favor of the humans. Their relentless assault and effective use of technology began to overwhelm the alien defenses. The aliens, despite their initial resistance, struggled to keep up with the fast-paced and unpredictable human tactics. The once mighty defenses of Epsilon 12 began to crumble under the relentless pressure. With the alien command center under siege and their defenses in disarray, the human forces pressed their advantage. They executed a final, coordinated push to secure the station. The alien defenders, realizing that they were losing control, attempted a desperate counterattack, but it was too late. The human forces managed to capture Epsilon 12, marking a decisive victory in the conflict. The capture of Epsilon 12 had far-reaching consequences. It was not just a tactical win. It was a strategic breakthrough that shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. The station's control allowed the humans to disrupt alien supply lines and communication networks, severely impacting the alien war effort. The victory boosted human morale and solidified their position as a dominant force in the galaxy. In the aftermath of the battle, the alien factions were left to reassess their strategies. The loss of Epsilon 12 was a significant blow, and the aliens faced a new reality. They had to confront the fact that humanity was not just a temporary nuisance, but a formidable and persistent threat. The turning point had arrived, and the war was entering a new phase. The humans, buoyed by their success, continued their campaign with renewed determination. They capitalized on their victory at Epsilon 12 to launch further offensives and expand their influence. The galaxy watched as the conflict evolved, with the turning point serving as a stark reminder of the changing dynamics of power. As the war pressed on, the human advantage became increasingly apparent. The turning point had marked a shift in the conflict, with humanity emerging as a key player in the galactic arena. The future of the galaxy remained uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity's presence was now a force that could not be ignored. Unexpected alliances. The galaxy was in turmoil. Humanity's unexpected victories and relentless tactics had shifted the balance of power, creating a new reality for the alien factions. Facing a formidable opponent, the aliens found themselves in a precarious position. With the recent loss of Epsilon 12 still fresh, many alien races recognized the need for a new approach. It was during this critical time that unexpected alliances began to form, altering the course of the galactic conflict. The first signs of these new alliances appeared in the council chambers of the Icar, a race known for their diplomatic prowess. The Icar had traditionally remained neutral, but the growing human threat forced them to reconsider their position. High-ranking Icar diplomats reached out to various alien factions, proposing a united front against the human invaders. At first, many alien factions were skeptical. The idea of working together was challenging, given their historical rivalries and differing agendas. However, the threat posed by humanity was undeniable, and the need for cooperation became increasingly apparent. The Uikar, with their skilled negotiation, managed to bring several factions to the table. One of the most surprising alliances was between the Shraks and the Vortons. These two races had been bitter enemies for centuries, their conflicts often leading to fierce battles and deep-seated animosity. Yet, the reality of the human threat overshadowed their past grievances. The Shraks, who had suffered heavily in recent battles, recognized that aligning with the Vortons could provide the military strength needed to counter the humans. The Vortons, with their advanced technology and resources, saw the alliance as a way to regain their lost influence. The newly formed alliance was a strategic coup for the aliens. The combined forces of the Shraks and the Vortons created a formidable military front, capable of challenging human supremacy. They pooled their resources, sharing technology and intelligence to create a more effective defense against the human threat. As the alliance took shape, the Uikar continued their diplomatic efforts, expanding their coalition to include other races. They approached the Cruel, a powerful but reclusive species known for their strength and combat abilities. The Cruel, initially hesitant, were persuaded by the prospect of mutual benefit and the need to counter the human advance. They agreed to join the coalition, adding their considerable military might to the growing alliance. The formation of these unexpected alliances marked a significant shift in the galactic conflict. The United Alien Front began to develop a coordinated strategy, focusing on both defensive measures and counterattacks. Their goal was clear: to halt the human advance and regain control of lost territories. One of the first major operations of the new alliance was a large-scale offensive aimed at retaking control of a key sector that had fallen to human forces. The operation was meticulously planned, with the combined forces of the Shraks, Vortons, Cruel, and other allied factions working in concert. The alliance's strategy was to launch a multi-pronged assault, overwhelming the human defenders with sheer numbers and coordinated attacks. The battle that followed was one of the largest seen in the conflict. The alien forces, working together for the first time, launched their assault with precision and determination. The humans, caught off guard by the scale and coordination of the attack, struggled to mount an effective defense. The Allied forces pressed their advantage, making significant gains and forcing the human forces to withdraw from several key positions. Despite the initial success, the battle was far from over. The humans, though pushed back, were not defeated. They regrouped and adapted their strategies to counter the new threat posed by the alliance. Human commanders, known for their tactical brilliance, quickly recognized the need for a new approach. They devised plans to disrupt the alliance's coordination and exploit any weaknesses in their unified front. The alliance's success in the battle highlighted the challenges faced by both sides. The coalition's ability to work together and combine their strengths had proven effective, but it also exposed the difficulties of maintaining unity among such diverse factions. Internal tensions and disagreements occasionally surfaced, threatening to undermine their efforts. The humans, aware of these potential vulnerabilities, continued to apply pressure. They conducted targeted operations to exploit any divisions within the alliance, aiming to sow discord and weaken their combined efforts. The conflict continued to evolve, with both sides adapting their strategies in response to the changing dynamics of the war. The unexpected alliances had introduced a new element of complexity into the conflict. The galaxy watched as the once fractured alien factions united against a common enemy. The shifting alliances and evolving strategies created a dynamic and unpredictable battlefield. The turning point marked by these alliances had set the stage for a new phase in the war, one where the outcome remained uncertain. In the end, the formation of these unexpected alliances demonstrated the adaptability and resilience of the galactic factions. Despite their differences in past conflicts, they had come together to face a common threat. The future of the galaxy hung in the balance, with the newly united alien front and the determined human forces locked in a struggle that would determine the ultimate fate of their world. As the war continued, the significance of these alliances became clear. They represented not just a strategic response to the human threat, but also a testament to the capacity of different races to overcome their differences in the face of adversity. The galaxy was forever changed by the new alliances, and the conflict would be remembered as a defining moment in the history of the galaxy. The final showdown. The galaxy was now a stage for one of the most intense and critical battles ever witnessed. The recent alliances had shifted the power dynamics significantly, creating a formidable coalition of alien forces united against humanity. Both sides were preparing for the ultimate confrontation, knowing that the outcome of this battle would determine the fate of the galaxy. The location of the final showdown was the planet of Viridia, a strategic world with vital resources and a key position in galactic space. Both the humans and the allied alien forces understood its importance. The planet's surface was dotted with military installations, mining operations, and communication hubs, making it a crucial target for both sides. The battle began with a series of preliminary skirmishes as the human forces and the alien coalition clashed in the space around Viridia. The Allied fleet, consisting of ships from the Shraks, Vortons, Cruel, and other races, moved in coordinated formations, their combined strength creating a formidable defensive line. The human fleet, known for its agility and advanced technology, maneuvered through the chaos, launching precise strikes against the alien positions. One of the key strategies employed by the human forces was to disrupt the coordination of the alien fleet. The humans used their advanced stealth technology to sneak past the outer defenses and launch surprise attacks on key command ships and supply lines. This tactic aimed to create confusion and disarray within the Allied forces, giving the humans a tactical advantage. As the battle raged in space, the ground forces on Viridia prepared for their own crucial fight. The humans had established a series of defensive positions around their key installations, fortifying their positions with advanced weaponry and automated defenses. The alien coalition, determined to break through, launched a massive ground assault, sending waves of troops and heavy machinery toward the human strongholds. The clash on the ground was fierce and relentless. The human defenders, well prepared and resolute, fought with tenacity and skill. They utilized their knowledge of the terrain and their defensive technology to repel the alien advances. Despite the intensity of the assault, the human forces managed to hold their ground, inflicting heavy casualties on the attacking aliens. One of the most intense moments of the battle occurred when the alien forces managed to breach one of the human defensive lines. The humans, facing a sudden surge of enemy troops, were pushed back into a desperate defensive position. It was a critical moment that could have turned the tide in favor of the aliens. However, the human commanders rallied their troops and implemented a counteroffensive plan. The counteroffensive was a testament to human adaptability and strategic thinking. The human forces executed a coordinated retreat, drawing the aliens into a trap. Hidden reserves of human troops, positioned in strategic locations, launched a surprise attack from multiple directions. The alien forces, already stretched thin, were caught off guard by the sudden and overwhelming assault. The tide of the battle shifted once again, with the humans regaining the upper hand. In space, the battle was equally dramatic. The human fleet, despite facing a united alien front, continued to execute daring maneuvers and targeted strikes. The humans managed to disable several key alien warships, disrupting the cohesion of the coalition forces. The alien alliance, strained by the simultaneous challenges on the ground and in space, struggled to maintain their coordinated efforts. The climax of the battle came when the human forces launched a decisive attack on the central command facility of the alien coalition. The facility, a massive structure orbiting Viridia, was crucial to the coordination of the Allied forces. The humans, having carefully planned their assault, launched a final, all-out offensive to destroy the facility and cripple the alien command structure. The attack on the command facility was a dramatic and high-stakes operation. The human fleet concentrated its firepower on the facility's defenses, while ground forces secured key positions around the structure. Despite fierce resistance from the alien defenders, the humans pressed forward with determination. The facility's defenses were breached, and the final assault led to its destruction. The destruction of the alien command facility had a profound impact on the battle. The Allied forces, now leaderless and in disarray, were unable to effectively coordinate their efforts. The human forces, capitalizing on their victory, pressed their advantage and secured a decisive victory on Viridia. The final showdown marked a turning point in the galactic conflict. The humans had demonstrated their ability to adapt, strategize, and prevail against a united alien front. The victory on Viridia not only secured a critical strategic position, but also signaled the beginning of a new phase in the war. The alien coalition, having suffered a significant defeat, was forced to reevaluate their position and consider their next steps. As the dust settled and the battle came to an end, the galaxy was left to contemplate the implications of the human victory. The conflict had reached a new level of intensity and complexity, and the outcome of the final showdown had set the stage for future developments. The humans had proven themselves to be a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy watched with anticipation as the war continued to unfold. The aftermath. The final showdown on Viridia had changed the course of the galactic conflict. The humans, with their tenacity and strategic brilliance, had achieved a decisive victory. The aftermath of the battle was a period of intense reflection and adjustment for both sides. In the wake of the battle, Viridia lay in ruins. The once thriving planet was now scared by the violence of the conflict. The surface was littered with wreckage from the ground battles, and the skies were filled with the debris of destroyed warships. The human forces, though victorious, faced the monumental task of rebuilding and securing their gains. The human commanders conducted an assessment of the damage. They evaluated their defensive positions, repaired damaged equipment, and tended to the wounded. The victory had come at a cost, and the humans needed to ensure that their forces were ready for any further challenges. Despite the destruction, there was a sense of triumph and relief. The victory had secured a crucial strategic position and demonstrated humanity's resilience and strength. The victory on Viridia also had significant repercussions for the galactic war. The alien coalition, having suffered a crushing defeat, faced a crisis of its own. The destruction of their central command facility had severely disrupted their ability to coordinate and respond to the human threat. The once unified front of alien races was now fractured, with each faction grappling with the fallout of the defeat. In the aftermath, the alien factions convened in a series of emergency meetings. The Shraks, Vortons, Cruel, and other allied races had to address the challenges of their weakened alliance. The defeat on Viridia had exposed the vulnerabilities in their coordination and strategy. The previously strong coalition now faced internal disagreements and blame shifting. The factions had to reassess their strategies and determine their next course of action. The Yukar, who had played a crucial role in forming the alliance, found themselves in a difficult position. They had been instrumental in bringing together the diverse alien races, but the defeat on Viridia put their diplomatic efforts under scrutiny. The Ikar worked tirelessly to salvage what they could from the shattered alliance. They sought to mediate between the factions, trying to restore some semblance of unity and focus on a renewed strategy against the humans. For the humans, the aftermath of the battle was a period of consolidation and preparation. They had proven their capability to defeat a united alien front, but they knew that the conflict was far from over. The humans continued to strengthen their positions, fortify their defenses, and expand their influence. They understood that the alien factions would regroup and possibly launch new offensives. The human leadership also recognized the importance of diplomacy in the aftermath. While the focus was on military strength, they also sought to engage with remaining alien factions that had not been part of the coalition. The goal was to create alliances and secure peace with those willing to negotiate. The humans were aware that diplomacy could provide a path to lasting stability and reduce the chances of prolonged conflict. The galaxy watched as the effects of the battle unfolded. News of the human victory on Viridia spread across star systems, and different factions reacted in various ways. Some races, previously neutral or ambivalent, began to reassess their stance on the conflict. The humans' demonstrated strength had a profound impact on the galaxy's political landscape. As the dust settled, the rebuilding efforts on Viridia began. The human forces worked alongside local allies to repair the damage and restore order. The planet's resources were utilized to support the reconstruction, and humanitarian efforts were put in place to assist those affected by the war. The human leadership emphasized the importance of rebuilding not just their military positions, but also the trust and relationships with the inhabitants of Viridia. In the broader context, the victory on Viridia had shifted the momentum of the galactic conflict. The humans had proven themselves as a formidable force, capable of achieving significant victories against a united alien front. The battle marked a turning point in the war, with the alien factions now facing a more uncertain future. The aftermath of the battle was a time of adjustment for all parties involved. The humans continued their efforts to solidify their position and prepare for any future threats. The alien factions, struggling with their defeat, had to navigate a complex and changing galactic landscape. The conflict had reached a new phase, and the galaxy braced itself for the next chapter in the ongoing struggle. In the end, the battle for Viridia was not just a fight for control of a planet. It was a defining moment in the galactic conflict. The aftermath highlighted the challenges and opportunities faced by both sides. The galaxy, now altered by the recent events, awaited the next moves in a war that had reshaped its very fabric.